Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the top 10s of the top 10s in the top 10s. Today we are doing the top 10 Canadian inventions from the First World War to the end of the Cold War. Now, without further ado, let's get into the top 10. Now, starting the top 10, number 10, the Ross rifle. The Ross rifle is number 10 on this list because it was the rifle used by all Canadian soldiers in World War I and showed that Canadian soldiers were their own soldiers fighting under the Canadian flag and not the British or American. You can tell this from the rifles that they used and their features, with how the Ross rifle is a straight pull bolt action, which gave it a faster rate of fire than, for example, the Lee Enfield's traditional turn and pull action, which made the Ross rifle a lot worse, but different than all the other rifles used in World War I. It was almost a way to show independence in the middle of being shot at with your gun jammed. Again, number 9, snowmobiles. The reason snowmobiles are on this list is because it was invented during the 1930s, or more specifically, 1935, by Quebecois mechanic Joseph Armand Bombardier, after his son tragically died when Joseph Armand couldn't make it through the snow on time to get his son to a hospital. Now, nobody has to go through that kind of event again, as snowmobiles are still used to this day to get through the snow and have probably saved many lives. So that's why it's higher than the Ross rifle, but lower than number 8, the alkaline battery. The alkaline battery is a battery, the invented in 1959 during the Cold War, and can be used for almost anything that is powered by electricity, as long as it has ports for the batteries. But it's an all-around useful power source, and is used to this day almost constantly in any small object powered by electricity. Number 7, the walkie-talkie. The walkie-talkie is number 7 on this list, as it was created in 1937 before the war, and originally used as a way of communicating with people over longer distances. Then, when World War I began, it was used for communicating between generals and all levels of the army, as well as the different branches. The walkie-talkie ever since then had been used in almost all wars. When World War I was over, and even during the World War, the walkie-talkie was created into a child's toy, and is still a child's toy today, which ironically normally require alkaline batteries. Number 5, the anti-gravity suit. Now, number 5 on this list is the anti-gravity suit, made in 1940 to protect the pilots that drive planes at G-force from having cut off blood flow, due to the G-force being greater than the heart's blood pumping force. This has made mechanics able to create faster planes and more advancement in planes for the war efforts, as well as keep more pilots awake while flying, stopping them from passing out and crashing, ultimately leading to their deaths. Number 4, sonar. Number 4 on this list is sonar, as it was created in 1906 as a way of detecting icebergs, but then was used in World War I to detect submarines. Sonar during World War I has multiple times stopped massive attacks on carriers and other Allied boats, heavily helping the battles in the sea from World War I all the way up to today, easily having a big saving part in all of the war efforts. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we are getting into the final 3 most important inventions of Canada. Number 3, the plan position indicator. Number 3 on this list is the plan position indicator, made in 1940 by Canadian scientists, which was important as it was used in World War II and is an improved sonar system that can now be used to detect submarines and planes coming towards certain positions of the Allies and help prevent many more attacks, meaning the war could have gone very differently, and we could all be speaking German right now if not for this. Now, even though the system was made in 1940, it is still in use to this day. Number 2, the gas mask. Now, for number 2, we have the gas mask, which was invented in 1914 when the Germans discovered gas and used it against the Allies in the Battle of Ypres. Germans would then use this gas multiple more times in World War I. So without the gas mask, many more Allied soldiers would have died, quite brutally, at the hands of the Germans. When gas was banned after World War I, gas masks are still to be used by different companies in the modern day, like bug extermination companies, saving many households from bugs. Number 1, the most important invention of Canada from the start of World War I to the end of the Cold War, the pacemaker. Created in 1958 during the Cold War, the pacemaker is an implanted medical device that generates electrical pulses to keep the heart beating at a normal pace instead of beating too slow and stopping or beating too fast and creating heart attacks. Survival rates are found to be 93%, 81%, 69%, and 61% after 1, 3, 5, and 7 years of living with a pacemaker. So without the pacemaker, many people would have died a lot earlier and faster all over the world. And in Canada, it is found that an estimated 750,000 people live with a pacemaker and have extended over 200,000 Canadian lives over the past decade. So that is why the pacemaker is the most important invention in Canada. This has been the top 10s of the top 10s in the top 10s. Thank you all for watching, and I hope to see you again soon. Adios.